Now, it is important that you see that the different facets of the matrix that operate do not operate individually, but operate from an interactive perspective. In other words, the church does not operate without the school. The school does not operate without the Food and Drug Administration. I'm going to touch into that now, and then I'm going to tell you what the next part or next facet of it is, which is of course the healthcare system. But first, let's touch on Food and Drug Administration, because each of these systems has to pimp you out, so to speak, interactively. They share you, they guide you towards each other and utilize your energies to maintain themselves. It sounds crazy, but it is real. When a child is born, the child usually needs something known as colostrum. This is the first presentation of mother's milk that is exuded from the breasts of the expectant mother. Oftentimes they are advised to save this colostrum in bottles and refrigerate it until such a time as the baby has need, because this colostrum has all the antibodies, or not should say all, but many of the antibodies that a child needs in order to build up its immune system as a growing human being. Many women are dissuaded from doing this and are actually redirected towards stuff like simulated milk called Similac, or other artificial milks, or even cow's milk. Now, why this is wrong is because even a baby calf, if fed pasteurized milk for 6 days, will die from malnutrition, because all the nutritional content in pasteurized milk is destroyed, and it's not natural to the calf's body. So the same way that cow's milk is not natural to a human being's body. Cow's milk is primarily a makeup of mucus and antibodies. So you consuming cow antibodies for a human being's body that requires human antibodies is counterproductive. And this is something that you need to think about. Also, how can a child build up the right antibodies if it's not present in the milk, and if there's no nutritional content thereof except for artificial ingredients that might be embedded in the milk after the fact? You see, all of this is counterproductive to a properly functioning human body. That is why that you see a young child, if you see a young child that is being fed these artificial milks like Similac, or they're being fed lactose products from a human cow, this child's body will have a minor anaphylactic reaction. In other words, it has an allergic reaction to the milk. That's why the child will increase its mucus production, and there'll be a lot of snot running out the baby's nose, because the baby's body is not functioning on the proper level. This is an indication, and they will never tell you this is an indication because it serves their purpose. A child being fed milk that is not from its mother will have a weakened immune system. It'll have a malfunctioning pancreas. See, it'll have already system breakdown prematurely, to the point that this child will have to be hospitalized at some point. Even if it's not for anything major, that child will be in the hospital, because it will be sickly, and it will continue to be sickly because it never got the right start. The pancreas won't function, there'll be diminished kidney function, even the liver, which manufactures a lot of things that help with the immune system, which filters out things from the bloodstream, okay, and destroys necessary components that are no longer needed by the body and other alien entities that might enter the body. When these things malfunction, the child becomes sickly. The things that promote good body functioning will come from its mother, not from an artificial source. So these are things that you need to consider. This is how you promote the Food and Drug Administration. Then when you send your kids to public school, what's the one thing that they pump into your kids 3 times a day? Milk. Milk. Mucus. Milk. Don't look at me. Look at the container that says Elmer's glue, and you'll see the picture of a cow on it. Why? Because Elmer's glue is made from cow's milk. It is made from that component in the cow's milk that forms glue and adheres to the interior of the person's intestines. It coats your intestines, thereby what? Interfering with proper nutrient absorption. So these are some of the things you got to pay attention to. Some of the foods that they feed you in public school. High fructose corn syrup, which hardens arteries, and it's very hard for the pancreas to break down on any level. The insulin will not break it down. It cannot be absorbed into the cells, and therefore it becomes something like flotsam that just floats around in your blood vessels and lines the interior of them, stiffening them up. These are some of the things. It's a complex sugar. It's too complex. It's almost like drinking wood. So when you drink those sodas that say high fructose corn syrup, when you eat foods that are sweetened with high fructose corn syrup, all you're doing is damaging your body prematurely. White sugar, it's bleached, which means what? All the nutritional content has been removed. Anything that's bleached, bleached flour, same thing, no nutritional content. But these things have ingredients put into them known as excitotoxins that stimulate your taste buds and make you have a craving or desire for them. You have to be aware of that. This is another thing that I have to touch on. I can only touch on small facets of this whole system because there's so much and it's so involved. It would take me hours if I was to go into the integral parts of this. But I'm just giving you small snippets for you to research and find out about on your own so that you can have a better understanding of how the matrix has you enslaved. Okay, I will go into the healthcare system, but the healthcare system, you have to ask yourself one major question. When was the last time, with all the technology at their disposal, when was the last time that they cured any known dis-ease? Anything that throws your body off of its harmonious podium. It's called dis-ease. You're no longer at ease, you're at a dis-ease, a disadvantage of being at ease. Okay? When your body is not at ease, it's in chaos. And when it's in chaos, that means that what? The body systems are not functioning adequately because something is impairing them from doing so. Whether it's a foreign entity or something internalized that's thrown out of harmony, it's called dis-ease. And they have never, since I can't think of how far back, they haven't cured anything. They have all these vaccines, but they don't cure. They just boost your immune system, but they haven't cured. They haven't eradicated. And even when they supposedly eradicate, they keep samples of it around. Why would you keep samples of it around? Maybe it's because you want to bring it back into style, or you want to bring it back in force to cause people to be in a state of need to have it eradicated again and to keep people in a state of fear. You have to question these things about our system. But the healthcare system, there have been over 500 microbiologists and scientists from 1985 to present who made medical breakthroughs and were on the verge of curing HIV and several types of cancers. And every time they made these breakthroughs, they had accidents or they died. Over 500 scientists. Some of them were found with gunshot wounds to the head. These weren't just regular accidents. Some of these accidents were obvious homicides. So you have to question yourself, why is this? Why are we in a system that is so corrupt that it's even killing its own scientists if they attempt to cure disease? Okay, that's the healthcare system. This is the same healthcare system that sold HIV-tainted clotting factor, factor 8, to France. That was the Bayer pharmaceutical company that makes Bayer aspirin. They sold HIV-tainted clotting factor. They knew it was tainted with AIDS, still sold it to France. All the French hemophiliacs that took it came down with AIDS and were on their deathbeds. All Bayer did was pay a fine from the profits that they made selling it to France in the first place, and they kept it moving. They kept it 100. So this is the kind of system that we're in. This is how corrupt it is. These are the same people you're putting your life in their hands. Okay, I don't want to stay on any one topic too long, but the healthcare system is pretty much it in that sense. And then we have another thing called the media or the entertainment industry. Right now, media is promoting something that I called the eugenics agenda. It's a part of the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. It's a method by which you glamorize and make attractive a means of exterminating a culture of people to the point where they're destroying themselves and don't even realize that they're willing participants. The protocols of the learned elders of Zion was in some parts founded by those who are known as the Ashkenazim and the Zionists. These are a facet of Jewry. You know, you have different types of Jews. Okay, you have basically the Castilian Jews. These are Jews that originate in Spain or have Spanish origin. You have the Ashkenazim. The Ashkenazim are Jews who originate from Europe. Okay, you have the Falasha or the Sephardim. The Sephardim come from Africa, and these are the true original Jews. All other Jews got their learning from the Sephardim. So when you hear a Caucasian Jew tell you that you're anti-Semitic, he's not even a Semite because he does not originate from the tribe of Shem. You see, that's what makes it so hypocritical. You know, Ashkenazim comes from the tribe of Japheth. Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Each of those sons is basically the origin of a culture. Okay, if you have people from the Middle East of Arabic descent, generally these are people that come from the tribe of Shem. If you have people that are of black or Negroid, as they put it, or you know, descent, these are people that are coming from the tribe of Ham. If you have people that are of Caucasoid or white descent, they are coming from the tribe of Japheth. So you got to know these things in order to not fall into the trick bag. When the Ashkenazim starts crying foul, don't worry about it, because he's just talking, man. These are the same Jews, the Ashkenazim, who are the money mongers. They're the same racists that upheld racism in South Africa. They're the same Jews that own all the diamond mines in South Africa. They're the same Jews that control all the financial districts in New York. These are the same Jews that control all the media in America. These are the same Jews, these Hasidic Jews, man, that are sitting on piles and piles of money while the rest of the world goes broke. So don't let them trick you. If you have prerequisite understanding of who these people are, or how this system is being put in place, then you know who they are. The protocols of the learned elders of Zion is a mandate that was written by the Ashkenazim, the white Jews. Okay, what's his name? Darwin. If you know anything about Darwinism and his theory of evolution, you'll know that he was a closet racist. And if you know anything about him, then you also know that his sister or cousin or whatever she was, Margaret Sanger, was the founder of Planned Parenthood, and she's also a member of the Eugenics Society. And Planned Parenthood is about what? Discouraging women from having children. Okay, it's about encouraging women to practice birth control. And if you're doing birth control, then what are you doing? You're not having children. You see what I'm saying? It looks like they make it look attractive, like you're trying to take responsibility for your life and you don't want to have children before time and so forth. But they don't tell you that earlier in the game, these people were sterilizing women without their knowledge. These people were aborting fetuses and at the same time cutting the tubes of pregnant women. They don't tell you the whole story behind Planned Parenthood. They don't tell you the whole story behind Margaret Sanger and the fact that she was a racist, and that most Planned Parenthoods are only in black populated or minority neighborhoods, because their philosophy was that they want to eradicate all the poor people from the world, or the undesirables from the world. So there's a whole lot more to the story than meets the eye. But you've got to have understanding, and you've got to know what you're being tricked into. Right now they're pushing the homosexuality agenda because, again, that guarantees no birth. 2 men can't make a baby, 2 women cannot make a baby. So homosexuality is another way to exterminate a race or a culture, as I can put it. That is why right now it's being pushed so much on TV, primarily on channels watched by minorities. You've got to see the game as it's being played. The hip-hop agenda. In hip-hop now, in the hip-hop industry, a whole lot of homosexuality is rampant. It's all part of the systematic removal of an undesirable culture. But they don't even see that they're being played. Between the drugs, the violence, and the homosexuality, their time is going to run out. But it's all part of the matrix. And the matrix is a self-serving system controlled by those who sit in the dark and call themselves lords of light, the fallen ones. But you got to know who they are. And in order to know who they are, you have to have prerequisite knowledge. If you want to learn more about this, then you need to get at me. You know who I am. I'm the Nimrodon Zero, the Nimrod X. And I'm the historian for truth. You can peep game if you want to, or you can step off and continue being a slave and just go through life day to day, never overstanding, never questioning, and never wondering why the system is set up the way that it is. This is the Nimrodon Zero, and I'm out. Peace.